All right. Welcome to, well, the very first bonus hour of the week. This is Thursday's episode. I am your host, Paul Markle. And for right now, I'm going to sit behind this black carbon steel microphone and I'm going to talk as long as I can continue to do that. Joining me in the studio, of course, is Jarrad, who is standing. Did make your back feel better?
Yes, I'm standing. My back has not been feeling great for the past week or so. Not sure why.
Maybe you need some fitness.
Yeah, I need some fitness pizza in my mouth.
You need to fitness. And
I've been fitnessing.
You've been fitnessing. Have you been faithful? You've been faithfully?
Relatively faithful, yes.
Relatively?
Yes.
As good as me? Not missing any day?
I don't know. I haven't missed a day. I missed a portion of a workout, but I did
a portion of
something
a day.
that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zach,
Hi.
Are you doing well? Are you disciplining yourself back there?
I'm doing okay, yeah. I'm just sitting behind the computer.
You know what sucks?
So apparently, real quick, apparently we have somebody here, so,
We have somebody here.
yeah.
Is Doug up front?
Here.
Apparently Doug's up front.
Can I go grab him?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going
I'll
to
go
grab
grab
him, but,
No, you go
Okay.
ahead and run the board.
okay.
All right.
We need
so
to do the intro video at some point.
yeah, go ahead and well, Jared's going to go get our guest, and Zach's going to play the intro music. There you go. Oh man, I'm so jealous of myself. Every time I watch that video, I find myself being jealous of myself. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense, yeah.
I wish that I was that self doing those things, not the self that I am right now.
Yeah, there's not a good outdoor range around
Yeah, there's that's the main suck of living here is there's no good place to go and shoot rifles. You can go shoot pistols indoors, and there are some ranges here where you can shoot a rifle indoors.
Yeah.
But let's face it, it's kind of pointless to shoot a rifle at 25 yards.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I need to go out to the range for sure, because I haven't shot this pocket gun in forever.
Yeah, you do. And we actually, we should be getting one of our good friends, Scotty McGregor, is working for a pistol company, a firearms company, as a sales manager. And we're going to try out one of his new pistols. Hi, I'm in the lobby.
Yeah.
Duh.
Perfect place to tell us that.
Is anybody else?
We have Ben Voltman.
Ben? Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
And Jarrad. That's it? That's the only people that are alive right now is just Ben and
That-
Jarrad and...
That is like, hey, it's lunchtime. People listen during your lunch break.
Yeah, I know. What's going on? Well,
Whatever.
we'll just go ahead and continue on. We've
Hey,
got
Ben.
another 45 minutes. Hi, Mike. Hi, Tom.
Okay, now
there
pe-
we go. People are
See?
starting to...
They heard us talking shit.
People are going to show up now. Ryan.
Hey, look who it is.
All right. So, here we are. Hey. Hey, just
dead air.
Get a seat. Jared, you want to give him a seat? Or, really? Jared's going to find a microphone. So we are going to have a guest today. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? The time to fight is now. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about fun things. I want to talk about interesting things. But we can't. It's kind of like people who have lived through crises before in the world, in the United States of America. And yeah, sure, you want to go out and play games. And that is the reason that we end up in the predicament that we are currently in, is because everyone's fat and happy and they just want to go have a good time and play games and enjoy themselves. And while they're doing that, the nation is crumbling around them. And before you know it, you wake up and you're like, wow, how did this happen? Well, it happens because we don't pay attention, because we did get fat and happy, because we allowed people to well, speak for us. I see. I heard Paul mention he got bifocals. Any particular reason why? Yeah, because I have double vision. That's why. No.
There we go.
There we go. All right. And Zach is doing his thing.
Sweet. So, what have you covered so far?
I introduced myself and everyone.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Doug's your microphone on?
Hello?
Hey, Zach,
He's getting it. It's the green
Yes.
one, Zach.
it's the green one.
All right, talk to your microphone.
Doug, talk to your microphone.
Okay. Hello?
There you go.
There I am.
All right.
It's halfway up.
So you're here on a transcontinental trip.
Yeah, starting in Colorado, end up on the other side of Seattle before it's over with, hauling furniture.
All right. Where'd you end up parking your rig?
I'm just about half a mile away at a warehouse. I've got to wait on them this afternoon, and just happened to be where I landed. So I
Nice.
walked over here.
That's freaking fortuitous.
Mm-hmm.
That is freaking fortuitous. All right. So, Jarrad, you want to go ahead and do the leadership trait of the week?
Yes. Can you pull up the notes for me? I know it's justice, and part of justice it means the practice of being fair and consistent. But that's where my knowledge of recollection that I can recall from my head ends. So let me look at the notes real quick. Oh, give consideration to each side of a situation, and then you base your rewards and punishments on the merit of the individual. And then you can improve your justice by being honest with yourself about why you make a decision, and you avoid favoritism and be fair at all times. And then in addition to those, you treat all things and people in an equal manner.
You know what it doesn't say in there? It doesn't say that you base all your decisions upon emotion. And lies. It doesn't say base your decisions upon emotion and lies. So that's good. Fair and consistent, give consideration to all sides of a situation, and base rewards on punishment and merit, and punishments on merit. All right. Did you come up with a fighting fitness thing?
I can't remember. Somebody
All right.
asked a question, and it was a really good question, and I could not find it for the life of me. It was somewhere on Facebook or in an email or a text message. There's just too many means of communication nowadays.
Yeah.
So here's what we'll do,
But,
right?
Yeah.
Funny Fitness. Use the code in the student lounge. Brought to you by SWAT Fuel.
That's funny.
Use the code in the student lounge, brought to you by SWAT Fuel. So you can have a sharper body and a sharper mind.
stronger mind,
Sharper
yeah.
mind and a stronger body.
Stronger body,
now.
stronger mind. Yep.
That's right. That's right. Well,
But we could talk about being dedicated and
we
actually
could.
doing
I
the stuff.
got an
that you need to
attaboy
do.
from my physician today. I had to go to the
Really?
I had to go to Huntsman today, and she was proud of me for lifting, for getting back in the gym.
That's good.
Yeah. So there you go.
I like that one.
And I am. It's actually nice to have a person that appreciates that, because we've had so many. I've talked to so many people, and when I started this journey, I told them what I was doing. We're doing the strength training and the this and that, and most of them just didn't care. Like, most of them just didn't give a shit. They're
we
like,
can say shit.
They're like, okay, that's nice, whatever, but that's not what we're here for. I'm like, okay. But it's nice to have one that appreciates that I'm putting in the effort. And yes, I am putting in the effort. And I get to go through, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I get to go through LP again. Congratulations to me.
Yeah.
I get to start over at the very beginning and go all the way through again. So, and it'll probably be a 6-month LP.
I say it's the best part of lifting is LP, and when you
I
to
thought it
get
was
the most
Folgers
out
in
of
your cup.
in the morning, the best part of waking up. That's funny. That's a total lie, though. It was a good marketing slogan.
Yeah,
but
it was-
Folgers
yeah.
is not the best part of your
If that's the
morning.
best part of waking up, you need to try again. You
need to get better
You need
friends
to
or
work a little
something.
harder. Yeah.
But I think that the most important part, or the best part of lifting is LP, and the most important part of LP is that dedication. And you've got an entirely new why now. Why you're
Yeah.
lifting.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, is if your why is not big enough to make you consistent on what you're doing, no matter what it is, lifting, business, whatever, then you need to search and find a better or bigger why. Sometimes they don't always slap you in the face like you got. It's like sometimes
It's
you
not always
actually
a
have to
smackdown.
dig and find it. But that's part of being consistent, is finding that why. Like, why are you doing this in the first place? Because if it's not a good reason, then, and if you don't believe in your why, then you're not going to be consistent with whatever you're doing.
Doug, are you a coffee drinker?
Oh, yeah.
You are? Okay.
Man, I feel like I'm not a nice person. I didn't
You
get him
didn't.
any
You
coffee.
didn't get him coffee.
No, he has to
You're
go
like
through.
up
He has to
front.
give us some value before he gets a damn cup of
A
coffee.
cup of coffee from up front because what's the name? The new barista
Taylor.
the new little girl up front should make you,
You know what's
whatever
funny?
kind of coffee you want.
Yeah, Alex and I went to a movie last night. We went to go see Hobbs and Shaw because The Rock's in it, and I watch any movie with him in there because he's cool. And I walked in the door at the movie theater, and I hear, "Oh, hey, Jarrad." And I looked, and I'm like, I don't really know that many people here. And it was Taylor. I'm like, are you stalking me?
From up front. It's a coincidence. There you go.
So she put the camera away and said, "No, I'm not stalking you."
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise pop in. As soon as I walked in the doors, when I got the notification that you guys were going live.
Oh, that's funny.
Did you tell him up front, or did you just wait?
Well, I was waiting. One of the kids up there finally asked me right as Jarrad walked through the door. I was kind of looking around for.
Yeah, just tell them that you're looking for Professor Paul.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Yeah,
She'll know,
the we joke about Taylor. She's brand new, and I've been out for a while. Haven't been in the studio, and so the other day we had some visitors, and I was back in the gym, and she came back there, and she walked down, and she went into the Ready Man area, and she came back out, and she looked at me. She goes, "Are you Professor Paul?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "There's people up front that said they're here to see you." And it's like, okay,
Now you know.
now you know. And yes, no, we've had a bunch of visitors here lately, but my favorite one has been Ruby.
Yes, yeah. Ruby was great.
It's a precious little baby.
Nothing against you, Doug.
Nothing against
Ruby
you,
was
but
so cute,
she was a
though.
precious little baby girl.
I understand that.
Beautiful little baby girl.
Yeah.
Bundle
I've
of
got
joy.
grandpa fever myself, and nothing on the way yet. So
I got one.
Yeah, he's got grandpa fever. He's
That's
had
right.
it for years.
That's right.
Finally
We're on
got one.
5 months. We
I
have
finally
5 months left.
figured it out.
Finally figured it out, huh? Finally figured out which way to go.
Yeah.
All right, we got a story here. Mr. Pogue. Now, you guys all remember Mr. Pogue, the outdoor expert from Outdoor Life or Outdoor.com or
Is this the same guy?
no. Remember Mr. Pogue?
Yeah.
Mr. Pogue wrote an article telling us, stupid peasants, what an experienced gun carrier and gun handler he was, and he's transported money, and he's a seasoned outdoorsman, and he's never in his life ever had to pull a gun on an animal, and it just doesn't happen. And you're more likely to hurt yourself with your own gun than you are to have to defend yourself against a wild animal. Well, last week we had a bear attack, and we mentioned Mr. Pogue, and this week we've got a new one. Jarrad, this is hot off the presses. Just happened 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
Go ahead and read it. I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and read that. This is the.
I don't have bifocals. I probably should get some. A New Jersey mother. Oh, I'm sorry. The title is "New Jersey Mother of 3 Fights Off Coyote with Baseball Bat." So he had an acne.
How did the coyote get the baseball bat? We don't know.
Yep.
But, we'll find out.
This is from Mahwah, New Jersey. A New Jersey mother is recovering from multiple bite marks after she managed to survive a coyote attack by hitting the animal with a baseball bat. Doreen, who's 53, was peacefully strolling in her neighborhood Friday evening when she says a coyote suddenly charged right at her. In her neighborhood. This wasn't like in the wilderness.
Yeah.
She says the animal got onto its hind legs, making it almost as tall as her, and began ravaging her body. It was biting me on the back of my thigh. It wouldn't leave me alone. It just kept biting, she said. I was scared because I didn't know what else could happen other than the puncture wounds. I didn't know if it would just latch on and not let go. Jeez, there's a picture there, but it's super tiny.
Yeah. There's a bunch of pictures of her wounds, but
Yeah, she put up a good fight. With the coyote biting and following her down the neighbor's driveway. Letargia. This is a different person, right?
Letargia Entrup luckily managed to find a baseball bat inside the garage, her neighbor's driveway. Okay.
That must be the neighbor.
She has a bucket of sticks and bats and sporting items, and I grabbed a bat and I hit it with the bat, and it moved away, said Letargia Entrup.
Yep.
I don't know, when did Letargia get into this?
Maybe that's, you know what? Go scroll up. That's her full name. Doreen Letargia Entrup.
Oh.
So Doreen is.
Oh.
That's
oh,
interesting.
It wasn't hyphenated.
Jeez.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say something. I thought this was a second person,
Yeah, I did too.
and it was an inner city person named Letargia. All right. Tell me that you didn't think someone in New Jersey could be named Letargia. All right.
The coyote left bite marks all over the 53-year-old's body, 14 puncture wounds in total. She got rabies shots and blood tests done at the hospital, so she did survive. The mother says she had seen the coyote around for a week prior to the attack, but she never thought it would become so violent. Because
It was just curious.
Because they don't. Because she probably read the article by Mr. Pogue that says, if you listen to Mr. Pogue, this never happens.
if you
Wild animals never attack you.
Look, if
What?
you encounter
Oh,
a
here we
coyote,
go.
the letter U. If you encounter a coyote.
Okay, so they wrote a story, and in the story they wrote, if the letter U.
If you. Like
No
you're texting.
way.
That
A
had to have been a
professional
mistake.
editor allowed that
Jeez.
to go through.
Okay, now
Do
now,
not
let-
turn
let-
your back and run. What's
Let's
that?
point this out real quick. This is from a tweet.
Oh.
However, that doesn't excuse the comma capital letter that happens twice.
That's all right. I didn't realize that was from a tweet. It's from the Mawa Police Department.
Mawa.
If you encounter a coyote, do not turn your back and run.
Well, they had to put 9-1-1
So
because somebody might try and
you
dial
take away both
900
those dashes, you could put YOU.
That's right. Someone might try and dial 911 on their phone.
Make yourself as big and as loud as possible. That dude, I cannot not think of Peter Griffin. Yeah. Call 9-1-1-1.
Secure your trash receptacles.
Yeah.
All right, so hang on a second. So stop.
Throw
So,
small
so this
sticks.
is. Let's go ahead and read this for what it is. It says, all right, this is the advice from the police officers. So it says, if you encounter a coyote, do not turn your back and run. Make yourself as big and loud as possible. Call 911 while you're doing that.
Yep.
Keep your pets inside. So if you're outside with your pets, and while you're making yourself as big as possible and loud as possible, and dialing 911, go secure your pet. Now it says secure your trash receptacles. So a coyote is attacking you. So here comes a coyote. He's like, oh, and you're like, all right, shit. What did they say? All right, make yourself big. Okay, get my phone out, and then run to your garbage cans and secure them. Why are you securing your garbage cans
While you're
while a
being
coyote's
attacked?
attacking you?
Well, because when you secure your trash receptacles, that's actually how you're going to be able to make as much noise as possible.
Make as much noise as possible. Throw sticks to scare them.
Small sticks, not big ones.
Small sticks. Yeah, not big sticks.
Throw small sticks.
Throw small dicks at. Oh,
Remember
my.
Walton Johnson? He was saying that the quote "walk softly and carry a big stick," but he accidentally said "walk softly and carry a big dick."
No,
Yeah.
did he really do?
Yeah, on the radio show down there in Mississippi. Yeah, I got a kick of that because I was like 12. I'm still 12 mentally.
Do you think? Hey, Zach.
Yes.
Do you think they could have spelled out the word "you" and left "secure your trash receptacles" out of this statement?
Yeah.
It makes it look like while you're being attacked, you should be making sure that the lid on your garbage can is nice and tight.
And actually, look, this is one sentence. Secure your trash receptacles. Make as much noise as possible. Throw small sticks to scare them away. So it's like in that order.
Yeah, so run
Also,
over to
they
your
were-
garbage can, make sure the lid's on it.
Also, they already said make yourself as loud as possible, and then they said make as much noise as possible.
Who's the R-tard at the Mawa Police Department tweeting for them? It's probably like the chief's 14-year-old nephew or something. He's like, you know how to use that Twitter thing, don't you?
Experts say if you see a coyote, it's best not to run. First, establish risk control, and then pull out your gun.
Yeah, that's right. Make yourself big and loud.
Okay, that's not-
Arr,
yeah,
big and-
that's
well, that should be easy
Jeez.
for people in New Jersey. They're all big and loud and obnoxious. So, oh, no, what did the Mawa Police Department do? They've set traps in hope of catching the coyote. It was last spotted in the same area around noon Saturday. So, after she hit it, with the baseball bat and drove it away, it came back. Now, I'm not a wildlife expert like Mr. Pogue, but I'm going to say if you live in this neighborhood and this coyote keeps coming around, you should go in your closet and get this big, long bang stick thing out and shoot that motherfucker, and then it won't come back around.
That's making yourself as loud as possible. So.
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with these people in these neighborhoods? Are there no men? Like, seriously, is this like the Valley of the Dolls or something? Are there no men in this neighborhood? There are no men to just fucking shoot this thing? I wake up every morning
wishing a coyote would show up.
A fucking coyote was in my backyard. People are like, "Oh, I saw this coyote," and I'm like, "Oh, like you motherfuckers! I wish I could see that. I would have coyote pelts like tacked up on the garage all the way from the front to the back, and you guys are like, "Oh yeah, I see them all the time." I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you shooting them? What is that an option? I was gonna shoot it, but I ran over to my garbage can to check the lid. And while I was checking the lid, it got away.
By the way, question. Do I forget how big coyotes are, or is she just really small?
No, coyotes are like the size of Shikoki.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah, like 40, 50 pounds.
You see that orange
On its
thing right
hind
there?
legs. What?
Can you grab that orange thing right there, Dad? It's on that table. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, coyotes are actually a little bit bigger than Shigoki sometimes.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
they
I've
were
seen some pretty big
Well,
ones.
a male
I thought
one.
they were pretty small.
A fully grown adult male can get up to about 50 pounds. A female is probably
You might be
in the
thinking
30
of foxes,
pound range.
Zach.
I know foxes are pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah,
Have you seen the new phenomenon that is pet foxes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Puck. We have one.
Foxes are cool
Yeah.
and annoying, but they're very cute.
And they go, wow.
They scream like huskies, and it's funny.
They
It's just more
scream.
high-pitched. I've got a video to show you after this.
So that was fun.
Can you go back to notes?
Yeah, I'm back to the notes now. So I'm gonna have to talk about horrible shit, in the state of our nation. So I thought we would poke a little fun at Mr. Pogue there. And if you guys want, where did we share the bear one? I shared the bear story. I don't know if I shared it in my feed or not. It may have been. There's been so much shit here lately. I don't know what's going on, but the week after we shared the story by the outdoor expert, the wildlife outdoor expert and hunting expert, Mr. Pogue. That very next week, a dude shot a bear after it chased him up a tree.
You don't need a gun though.
No, you don't need a gun. That never
He would have been
happens.
fine. He could have wrestled it.
That's right. Mr. Pogue has been in the wildlife, in the wilderness all his life since he was 3.
Yeah.
And he never, not one time, even had to employ bear spray, much less a gun. So take his advice. Don't be armed. Don't carry a gun.
His reality is
you could not be an idiot, and you could carry a gun. Now, in this woman's, Miss Letargia Entrops, in her defense, she does live in New Jersey. And I'm pretty sure that New Jersey is a May issue state.
You can't even have a pepper spray.
So
you can have pepper spray, but you can only have like half an ounce or something.
it's gay.
When I went up there to go help Lad move that one time, and I was looking at the stuff that their carry laws, and
They're pretty draconian.
it was like less than an ounce of pepper spray. I'm like, that's like a keychain that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's empty. No. She said to carry like a whole like belt of them, like a bandolier of. That still wouldn't help, but either way. People in New Jersey are pretty much disarmed tax slaves anyway. But I don't know what to tell you. You live there on purpose. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. The title of this story is "It's the Time to Fight Is Now," and we've been talking about this for a while. And I think a lot of folks out there who consider themselves reasonable are like, oh, well, Paul's funny and he's loud and he's gregarious and so forth. But he goes a little too far. The time for the gun culture to stop worrying about toys and to start concerning ourselves with liberty has come. And when I say the gun culture, I know this is the grad program, and I know it's at a limited audience, but I'm saying what do we see on YouTube? And what are the majority of podcasts and whatever? The majority of the gun culture media focuses on toys. Whatever the toy is, whether it's a Salient Arms $3,000 Glock or whoever the competing company is that's making $3,000 Glocks, and that's all fun and nice and cool and everything, but we don't have time for that right now, because you're not going to have any of that shit. All that super cool, gee whiz. I see these, there's basically an Instagram war going on now in the gun culture of who can post the most outrageous Glock AR-15 skeletonized. Have you seen these skeletonized ARs where they actually cut the material away from the lower receiver and all that, and oh man, they put it, and then they do professional lighting and all, and it's great. It looks super sexy, but it's fucking pointless because it's a fucking toy. And toys are not going to save this nation. We're not going to save this nation with fucking Salient Arms Glocks. I don't give a fuck about Salient Arms one way or the other. No, I'm not trying to attack them. But what I'm telling you is, if you've never taken a Beyond the Band-Aid class, if you've never taken a fighting pistol class, or a fighting rifle class, if you spent $3,000 on a fucking Glock and you've never taken a weekend-long training class, you're investing your money in the wrong shit. Okay? If you're going out and I'm going to go in and say this, if you're playing three-gun games, if you're spending the weekend three-gunning and you've never taken a weekend to do a traumatic medical class, you're fucking wrong. Your priorities are fucked up. Oh, I like playing and I'm good, and who the fuck are you to tell me I can't play my favorite game? Here's who I am. I'm Paul Markle. I live in the United States of America in 2019, and we have Republicans and Democrats that are joining forces right now to shit on the Constitution of the United States of America. They're joining forces to appease the fucking crybabies and the ignorant masses. We have people that have no understanding or concept of freedom or liberty. They think everything good comes from the government, or it's supposed to. And because they are the loudest and the whiniest, we have Republicans and Democrats right now plotting to eviscerate the Bill of Rights. I don't know how much better I can say that. And we in the gun culture, we're powerful, or we would be powerful if we would stop fucking arguing about toys and bullshit. We have the pro stabilizing brace and pro SBR and pro this. What the fuck is what is your SBR for? I still get this. We get this shit all the time. People are like, oh, well, if you were a real blah, 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 you'd go ahead and put down the money on a genuine SBR with a real stock and not blah, blah. What the fuck is that SBR for? What's it for? It's a fucking toy. Instead of worrying about that, how about we worry about this whole Bill of Rights thing? And if you want to talk
That's hard, though. You have to actually put mental effort into it.
And the super fucking lazy man's way out is, I don't like talking about politics. I don't like talking about politics. Well, whether
somebody's talking about it.
Somebody's talking about it. And and it infuriates me that people who have microphones like me, who have an opportunity to positively influence us, our culture, will deliberately, they'll pull this, oh, we don't talk politics on this show. This is all about guns and shooting and nerd, but we don't talk about politics on here. Well, fuck you too. You're fucking wasting my time. It'd be great if we had a secure nation. It would be great if we didn't have half of the Congress and the Senate who were trying to subvert the Constitution. But we do. At least 50% of our Congress and our Senate are trying to subvert that is undermine the supreme law of the land. Do you understand what a dangerous position we are in as a nation right now? We are living in a historical time. We are living in a time that's going to determine whether this country called the United States of America continues to try and function as a republic. I don't get me wrong. I know that we're way fucking beyond the founding. I get that.
I was just going to say that when you're talking about people not addressing politics, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that what you're saying is that you have to spend 100% of your waking hours thinking, talking about politics, but it's the people that have the opportunity to influence others that deliberately choose not to address those politics, whether it be on their show or in person.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about politics 24 hours a day, but the fact of the matter is just because you find it distasteful or it's not popular, and that's the sad fucking thing.
I don't think that it actually boils down to that it's not popular. I think that what it really boils down to, if you look into how humans are, is that talking politics takes effort. To be able to talk about the politics, you have to understand the Constitution. You have to understand what's actually going on.
But it's not that hard. The
It
Bill
takes
of Rights
effort,
isn't
though.
that fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's not that long. You can read the whole Constitution in one sitting, in a half hour.
But to
beginning
understand, like you can't just read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights by itself and understand it. You've got to ping around
But
to
you gotta
different
start
sources.
somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
But these all guns, no politics. You're a fucking coward. That's just cowardice. That's all that is. That's fucking cowardice. All guns, no politics. Brr, 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 brr. It ain't about guns, motherfuckers. Student of the gun isn't about guns. It's about liberty. A gun is an instrument of liberty. One of the funniest things to hunt.
I think he was talking about Coyote.
Oh yeah. We're back on the coyote thing. Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, you're like, why do you keep reading things? We're live on Discord. If you guys are members of the grad program, which you should be, well, which you are, because you couldn't hear me if you weren't.
Amen, Professor Paul. Greg's
we go live in Discord occasionally, so you guys can be there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a time where we're going to decide in the next few years whether this country is going to be a third world shithole country like England or France or Germany or whatever. And you're like, they're not third world. Fuck you, they're not.
Venezuela.
I have something for you guys to think about, and this is a question that I posed the other night when we were talking. Is the way that other countries are, since the United States is so new, is the way that other countries are, is that where humans are destined to go?
Well, you've got that and I've said this. Your high school history teacher should have taught you this. Your civics teacher should have taught you. You should have learned in high school that the reason that every other country, regardless of the name and regardless of what language they speak, essentially functions in the same way. You have a ruling class of some sort, whether they call themselves a czar or a prime minister or a president or whatever, but you have a ruling class, and they got there by hook or crook or revolution or genetics or whatever. But you've got a ruling class. That's why, and that's the way Europe was in 1776. There's a hardcore fucking ruling class, and they tried. They pretended in Europe. They pretended like they were going to get away from the ruling class, but what they did is they swapped their monarchy type ruling class, their feudal ruling class. They swapped that for a socialist ruling class. Socialism has they have a party fucking ruling system. Communism, which is, socialism is just communism in a new dress and lipstick. You can either be a member of the party, you become a member of the ruling class, a member of the state who gets to decide what everyone has to do and what they don't have to do. And when things get shitty, like they did in the Soviet Union and that they are right now in Europe, if you're a member of the state ruling class, When we run out of bread, you get bread first. When we run out of gas, you get gas first, you know. When things get crowded, you get nice houses. And the peasants can just suck it. Look at England. It's been over 3 years since the peasants of England voted to Brexit out of the European Union. And they're still in it today. 3 years.
How are they going to exit? They're not armed.
Yeah, they're not going to exit because their government doesn't give a fuck. Their government allows them to vote to placate them. You know, like, hey, and they're like, we're free. We get to vote. Look at us. Yay. We went down and we cast our vote and we waved our flags. And they're like, okay, we voted to get out of the European Union. And the ruling class said, okay, maybe, whatever. We'll look into that someday eventually. And in the meantime, nothing has changed. In the meantime, they're getting hacked and fucking slashed to death. They're getting run over by trucks and trolleys and trams, and little jihadists are stabbing and slashing them. And now don't forget, this is what happens when you are a disarmed tax slave. When you're disarmed and you are the victim of a terrorist attack, your government sends you to what? Where does your government send you?
Re-education.
That's right. Thank you, Zach. Your government says you, the victim of the fucking terrorist attack, to fucking re-education training so that you don't become radicalized. They send you to room 101. And you're like, that's insane. That is fucking insane. Yeah. So is arresting people for tweets. So is going to someone's house and arresting them and removing them from their home in handcuffs because they offended someone on Twitter.
Remember the guy that got arrested for teaching his dog to do a Heil Hitler, or supposedly.
To raise his paw?
Yeah.
What country? Germany?
No, it was England.
England? Oh, I can see that. Well, in Germany, they just had a terrorist attack. A jihadi chopped a guy up, and the German police warned the people, don't share that video. Yeah. There'll be criminal charges. New Zealand can't wait to become a fucking a socialist tyranny. They ordered their people to surrender their guns and then immediately started fucking terrorizing them. They fast-tracked that dude. They found a guy who shared the Christchurch video on Facebook, and they fast-tracked him through the legal system, found him guilty, and sent him to prison for sharing a video on Facebook. Not for killing people, for attacking, slashing, for sharing a video. Why? Because it's thought crime. Mm-hmm. But Paul, but how can that happen? That's exactly what happens. And I can't remember which country it is. There's a country in Europe that right now is prosecuting a Christian bishop for criticizing the homosexual lifestyle.
Actually being prosecuted.
Yes.
Just for criticizing.
Yes. Yes.
So for speaking opinion.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So Americans, and American politicians have been throwing this out. That crazy chick down in Florida, that black congresswoman who thinks she's a cowboy, who dresses like a cowboy prostitute, who went out in public, and I don't care what her name is, you guys know, she said that she wants it to be against the law for people to make fun of or criticize politicians on the internet. Mm-hmm. Yes. Chuck Schumer up in New York, I just saw a story this last week where Schumer came out and he wants people who offend or threaten. Of course, he used the word threaten because then he puts himself as a victim, right? Anyone who offends or attacks or threatens an elected official on the internet, he wants that to be a crime and he wants them to be arrested. Well, who gets to decide what's a threat and what's an offense? Well, they do. They get to decide. Ladies and gentlemen, do you really think that if we go ahead and acquiesce and if we do our civic duty and surrender, say, okay, we don't want any more mass shootings, we don't want any more killing, we're going to be like the dolts and idiots that cut their guns up in front of the news cameras. We're going to surrender our guns. And once that's done, these ruling class elitists, you think they're not going to persecute you and jail you for speaking out against them? California already wants basically the Christian biblical doctrine made illegal. You can't say that there's an other choice to being a homo in California. You can't say that the Bible says, you know, you don't have to do that. You weren't born that way. You have a choice as a human. No, you can't say that. Essentially, they put through a law that if you read the law in the strictest sense, you're not allowed to publish or sell any literature that would advise to an alternate lifestyle other than homosexuality. You cannot criticize the homo lifestyle in California. You cannot suggest that people shouldn't do that. Go ahead, Doug. You have something to say.
Didn't they just pass a resolution in their legislature that basically blames the Christian faith for the high suicide rate in the homosexual community? I thought I just read that.
It wouldn't surprise me. I didn't see that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I have seen that, yes. I don't quite remember what it's from, but I remember seeing that.
Sorry.
Go ahead and mess a little more. So right now, whether you like politics or don't like politics, whether you don't want to be involved or whether you do want to be involved, you need to understand. And when you're talking to your friends and neighbors, and they're like, oh, well, you gun, blah, 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 blah. You say, okay, all right. Do you think that the government should be able to take your property as without warrantless?
No due process.
No due process. Without any kind of evidence investigation. Do you think the government should be able to seize your property as they see fit? Anytime. Well, are we talking about guns or are we talking about other things? No, property is property is property, you intellectually weak son of a bitch.
Yeah, but I can't kill somebody with my kitchen.
Yeah, I can't kill someone with a car. I can't kill someone with a desk on. It's like
it wasn't designed to murder.
Yeah, that's my car's not designed for killing. It's not. You're missing the point. And if you think that it's going to stop there, and that's the psycho world that we live in, is all these people that are out cheerleading for, the end of the Second Amendment or these red flag laws. All these red flag cheerleaders are so either they're number one liars. They're just evil liars, and they know what they're doing. They know that they're destroying the Bill of Rights and they're destroying the Constitution because they think, they think that they'll end up on the ruling class side. That's where socialists are. They believe that it's okay to do that to other people because it won't affect me because I'll be on the winning team. When it's all said and done, I'll be on the ruling class team, and so I'll have cover. It won't happen to me. They won't come for me. Do you think if they shit on the fucking Bill of Rights and they establish precedent that the government can seize your property in the form of a firearm without due process, that they wouldn't do it for your actual house? That they wouldn't do it for your land, that the land you stand on?
They already do it for land.
They already do it.
Domain.
They're already abusing. Eminent domain is an important legal concept, but eminent domain was set in place so that when they were building railroads and bridges, that one guy couldn't say, fuck you, you're not building a railroad, you have to go 50 miles around and make a big loop. And they're like, no, we have to put the railroad through here or the highway or whatever. That's what it's for. What has happened in the United States is they've abused eminent domain and they've turned it into and this is socialism. They've turned it into a for the greater good. In the United States of America, they've used eminent domain to seize people's land to tear it down, sell it to a developer, and build a shopping mall. Because that they claim that, well, if we put in a shopping mall, that benefits hundreds or thousands of people.
We'll get much
as
more
opposed
tax money.
to one person.
Yeah.
So we can shit on this one person, fuck them and their land and property rights, because we decided, and of course, everyone on the city council is getting a fucking kickback from the developer anyway. We all know that. That's where eminent domain has gotten. You think that's going to get better when the American people have surrendered? When we've surrendered, you think they're going to back off on the political assassination? You think they're going to back off on the character assassination? They're going to back off on the telling you what you can and can't say, what words you're allowed to use, what words you're not allowed to use? You think they're going to ease up on that? No. History doesn't bear that out. What history says is the minute, the millisecond, the people are disarmed, the government becomes a fucking tyranny. Now, whether it's a comfortable tyranny, you know, we get bullshit from these fucking turd sniffers in Europe all the time about how, oh, they have blah, 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 and it doesn't bother them at all. Okay, so you're a comfortable slave.
Stay in
Congratulations. And
Hey, was it
It's like, I don't care how you live your life. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to live mine the way I want to live mine, though.
was it Finland who people were talking about, like, oh man, look at all this, you know, affordable health care and housing for the homeless and all that, and it's not that cheap, expensive and blah, 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 but they have like a 52% income tax.
oh yeah, all of Europe has a huge.
I think it was
Tax.
Finland that had a 52% income tax.
And we do
Oh.
all the heavy lifting for their defense, so they don't have to spend anything.
Yeah, you know, they're part of NATO, so we spend all the money on the nuclear subs and the fucking warheads and all that. But was it Norway or Sweden? One of those two countries just declared bankruptcy, and it was their universal healthcare system that bankrupted them.
Sounds like Sweden.
It was either Sweden or Norway, one of the two. Their universal health care bankrupt the country. They can't afford any of it. It will bankrupt you. You think that once they get their camel's nose under the tent wall of the Bill of Rights that they're going to stop there? Sweden in bankruptcy, is that?
No, that was personal bankruptcy.
Oh, okay.
Just put healthcare bankruptcy.
Anyway. So what is this war over? What is it? No, number one, you say, all right, Paul, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Well, give him the opportunity. I gave Dan Crenshaw, who fucking really severely disappointed me with this red flag bullshit. I can't believe that Dan Crenshaw has never read the Bill of Rights and is not familiar with it. He raised his hand and swore to defend the Constitution multiple times. Finland.
3rd March 2019.
Yeah, Finland government resigns over failed healthcare reform. Okay. Let's get back on this, though. So what I did this week was I went ahead and wrote a very nice letter to Mr. Crenshaw, and I sent him a copy of the Pocket Constitution. It's the entire Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Actually, it's all the amendments in the Constitution. And I wanted to make sure that he had a copy of it so that he could speak intelligently before he went out and said things. In case you guys should be hip. Every one of you should right now be able to rattle off when your idiot friends say things about red flag laws and that's going to help us. And you say, which of the amendments of the Bill of Rights you want to throw in the garbage? What are you talking about? I don't give a shit about your Second Amendment because that shouldn't even be a thing anyway. Okay. What do you think about the Fourth Amendment? What do you think about the Fifth Amendment? What do you think about the 14th? And they're like, 14? I didn't even know there were 14. Say, what do you think about the right to self-incrimination? And the 14th and the 5th, they don't just say due process. There's a lot of stuff in there. But when you've nullified it, when you've effectively subverted it, then it means nothing.
Yeah.
Once they've decided that, and we've already gotten to that point. We already allowed Donald Trump, and I'm sorry, I was hoping Trump would be good, and he may still be good to a certain extent, but he fucked us when he fucking violated ex post facto. He violated the Constitution with this bump stock bullshit. He had no fucking constitutional authority, but he did it anyway to appease the fucking masses. And everybody who thought, all right, what good did the bump stock ban do us? All right, all you fucking reasonable dildos out there that said, well, all right, calm down. I don't care about the bump stock anyway. It's a stupid range toy. And if this is what gets them off our back, if we could just give them the bump stocks, that'll get them off our back, and they'll be satisfied.
Now they're there for
and
pistol
they'll leave
races.
us alone.
Yeah.
Did that fucking work? Does that ever work? No, it never works. Appeasing and surrender never fucking works. So all of the and there were people with fucking microphones and blog spaces and YouTube channels that are in the gun culture that didn't care. They're like, fucking bump stock's a stupid fucking range toy anyway, and who cares, and I don't care, and blah, blah, blah. And I heard people in the gun culture say, well, if this is what it takes to get them off our backs, if this is what it takes to appease the anti-gun people, then we'll just let them have it, because who needs it anyway? And then they'll shut up about it, and they'll leave us alone.
Except they don't.
Except they don't. Except they won't. It hasn't even been a year yet. Hell, it hadn't been 6 months. And they're like, no, that's not enough. And I've been telling you, as long as I've had breath in my lungs, that it's never enough. There will never, and if and when they decide, and I'll be a criminal, this time, I'll tell you, I'm not surrendering shit. I'm surrendering nothing. I don't give a fuck what some people that go into a fucking room in Washington, D.C. say. You cannot take my fucking inalienable rights. Fuck you. But if you decide you want to be a reasonable, good citizen, and you surrender all your fucking magazines, and you surrender all your semi-automatic guns, and you think that's going to appease them, and then they'll leave you alone, and they'll leave us alone, and they won't want anything else, you're fucking stupid. Because that's never the way it's been in the entire history of the world, and it's not the way it's going to be here. They'll pick off one, and then there'll be another murder, there'll be another this, there'll be another that, and they're like, oh, we tried, but it didn't work. We got to have another one. And they've already set the precedent. They've already fucking decided that the Second Amendment means nothing. We know that the Second Amendment means that the government has no authority to regulate arms in the hands of the people. That's what it means. The Second Amendment doesn't mean you can own an AR-15. The Second Amendment means, and it says, that the government of the United States has no authority to regulate arms in the hands of the people. End of story. That's what it means. The First Amendment says the government has no authority to dictate what you can and cannot say, even if it hurts the feelings of a fucking senator. Even if it hurts the feelings of some fucking clown dressing like a cowboy in Florida. That's what the First Amendment says. First Amendment says, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. The First Amendment doesn't protect good, nice, fun speech. It protects all speech. Because the moment you start, and you're like, well, it doesn't protect hate speech. Be careful, Paul. It doesn't protect hate speech. Yes, it does, dildo.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you accept the idea, and this is what drives me mad. I might go a little long today, but fuck it. This is what drives me mad, insane. Is our culture, our side, has bought into the hate thing, the hate crime, the hate speech, the hate whatever. Well, yeah, hate speech should be a crime. Who fucking determines what's hate speech?
If you don't like what somebody says, punch them in the face. They probably won't say it again.
They won't say it again. Well, the government.
Or maybe they will. Who knows?
Well, the government determines it. So you want the government in charge of what you can and can't say. Because when you say, well, the KKK shouldn't be allowed to say what they say. Idiot! No one says you have to go fucking burn a cross with them. No one says you have to join their club. It's just words. That's how we've gotten through this first 200 some years as a nation, is we said, yeah, there are people out there that are going to say vile, filthy, horrible, disgusting shit. And you know what we don't have to do? We don't have to agree with them. We don't have to join their clubs. We don't have to support them. But when you allow the government to determine which speech is okay and which isn't, then you end up footing the bill. Now we have a government that says, you better be careful criticizing the homosexual lifestyle. Why? Well, because we've decided that that's the way it is. And if you offend those people, we're going to punish you. Fuck you. Oh, that's hate speech. Hey, America, the First Amendment defends hate speech. Believe it or not. First Amendment is not, I know it hurts your feelings. It's not about nice speech. The moment you buy into hate crime laws are fucking unconstitutional. Yet we bought into them. We allow that shit to sit on the books in states all across the nation. You can't hate. You can't fucking regulate hate or love. So the government's in charge now of telling the people what they can and can't like or hate or whatever. That is the slippery slope. And that's what happens when you try and have a republic with citizens versus a bunch of fucking sheep that do as they're told. It's easy. That's why socialism is so fucking easy. It's such an easy sell.
Indiana, we just got a hate crime law that the governor pushed through, our Republican governor, because there's corporations like Lilly that were, I guess, threatening to pull out if Indiana didn't get some kind of hate crime law on the book.
So violate the Constitution for money.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if he'll win re-election again or not. I'm probably not. I'm probably going to mess around, vote Libertarian this time, even though I know that'll give me a Democrat governor. But, I mean, if he talks and walks like a Democrat, there's really no point.
All right. What positive things? Number one, we already talked about training. And I'm not fucking joking, and I don't give a fuck if you give me $1 of your money or not. But like I said, if you got a $3,000 salient pistol and you've never taken a 2-day pistol class, you're fucking wrong. Your priorities are upside down. And if you're playing games and you're doing all this shit, you've never taken a traumatic medicine class, there's a lot of them out there. And the only reason you haven't taken one because it's not important to you. The only reason you don't carry the gear is because it's not important to you. You need to start getting together and working with genuine, no shit, like-minded individuals. Where do you find those people? At training classes. That's where you find those people. That's where you find people that are actually putting their fucking money where their mouth is. At training classes. We've got. You guys should know by now, I don't know if for some reason you're not aware, we're doing the Legion of Michael Church Security Training. Starts this Sunday. Go to mysecurechurch.com. Type it into your address bar, mysecurechurch.com, and sign up. We're starting on Sunday. It's distance training. It's 5 o'clock Sunday. It's 1 hour per Sunday for 4 Sundays. And it's the least expensive thing you're going to get from us. So if I don't know what to tell you. Eventually, we're hoping to do we want to do a residency training, a live training here for the Legion of Michael. That will be hands-on, and because there's obviously a lot of hands-on stuff that you can and should do. But I thought it was important enough to get this information out here right now, and that was the fastest way we could do it. Beyond the Band-Aid's basically sold out, right, for September.
Yeah, in 30 days from today, as we
30 days from today.
It's the class.
We've got
the
Beyond the Band-Aid here at Salt Lake City at the Black Rifle facility here in our classroom. So we've got that. The war is. This is all you need to really understand. It's what we're facing right now. It's not Democrat versus Republican. It is good versus evil. It is the truth versus lies. One side is using lies and propaganda. I don't have to tell you that everything that is said about guns and ARs and rifles and everything on the media, in the news, is a fucking lie. They're using lies to try and disarm us. Courage versus fear. They're using fear. And that's what that's what the devil does. That's what Satan does. He uses lies and fear to try and defeat you. Will you be defeated by lies? Will you be defeated by your cowardly neighbors? By your fearful, cowardly neighbors? Well, you know, people are naturally afraid. You know why they're afraid? Because they're not carrying fucking guns. I can't believe in 2019, after all we've seen in America, there are motherfucking adults walking around out there with no goddamn guns on their body, claiming to be good guys, claiming to be part of the solution. Carry your fucking gun, you fucking idiot. Every time, and I'm sorry, I'm off the fucking reservation. Every time I see one of these fucking shootings, like this thing at Walmart in El Paso, and I'm like, well, somebody certainly fucking addressed this issue. No one fucking did. It's pathetic. And you guys in Texas, I'm going to beat your ass up right now. Stop fucking thumping your chest and talking about Republic of Texas and that shit don't happen in Texas and Texas. Texas needs a lot more fucking Texas. You need to get rid of these goddamn Democrat fucking scumbags and run them out of your fucking state. Dallas, fuck you, Dallas. Austin, Dallas, Austin, El Paso. People are like, how could this happen in Texas and El Paso? El Paso's a blue fucking Democrat-run shitbag fucking city. And I'm not trying to be mean to Texas. I love the state of Texas. But the reason that Texas is going to be blue in the next 10 years, it's going to go Democrat for the president, is because the people in Texas have been so fucking busy living on fucking yesteryear. You've been so busy beating your fucking chest talking about everything's better in Texas and Texas. While you're doing that, these fucking scumbag cocksuckers from California are moving into your state and destroying it. While you're doing that, all these illegal fucks are getting registered to vote in your state. While you're beating your chest talking about how we're better than everyone else and we're our own country, your fucking state has been undermined. So stop beating your fucking chest talking about how good you are and fix what your fucking state. Fix Dallas. Get those fucking Democrats out of office. What the fuck, Dallas? Austin, I know you're full of fucking hippies and California fucking tech granola eating fucktards. Get the fucking Democrats out of your state and you'll have a fucking country. You'll have something you can call a republic. And how in the fuck can someone walk into a Walmart in Dallas and murder fucking scores of people and run out of ammunition, get bored, and fucking surrender to the police, and no one puts a fucking bullet in that piece of shit? Not one person. It's pathetic. Are you working with your Patriot Fire team? Aren't you? You're not? Why not? I told you years ago to get started. You're going to need people. You're going to need close people that you can fucking trust in the days to come. Because you can't trust politicians, R's or D's. You're going to need to be able to trust your neighbors. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a little angry. Carry all the gear on you. Fundamental 4. Don't fucking leave your house without it. No fucking excuses. Oh, I'm just going here. I'm just going to go there. You're just going to fucking nothing. Turn around, walk back into your fucking house and get your goddamn gun. And stop hanging around with motherfuckers that don't carry guns. People that look at you to be the designated driver. You know, if you become the designated safety man in your group of peers and friends, tell those people to carry their own fucking guns and get their own fucking training and quit leaning on you. Maybe you need to lean on them once in a while. It's here. It's time. And I don't have anything else to say. We're going to get Doug some coffee. All right, kids, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.